Hi, I'm Anna.
And I'm Ben.
And we're AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching Kaguya-sama Love is War, Season 3, Episode 12. Last episode we left off with the handing over of the envelope and news that Miyuki is going to be leaving Shushin a year earlier than everybody else. He is studying abroad, and Kaguya finally knows it. What she will do with that information is yet to be seen. We also don't know who the mystery man is who is stealing clocks and hearts and balloons. I think that
the Phantom Thief.
The Phantom Thief. I think it could be equally Miyuki as well as Miyuki's dad trying to help behind the scenes, but unclear, unknown. I am very excited to watch the next 2 episodes. I am a little fearful, like butterflies in my tummy. Like I'm a little nervous, but I'm really enjoying the show right now. Last episode is brilliant.
Last episode was amazing. I think at this point, I am just... It feels like everything's coming together for... You know, when you watch a show that has romance in it, you are just on the edge of your seat for the entire time waiting for that moment. You know, the moment where both people learn that the other person has been pining after them this whole time. I mean, it's so lovely to get the little tiny interactions that kind of build that tension even more. But once you get to the actual confession part where both people's hearts are basically, you know, out there and handed to each other, and they realize that the person that the object of their affection feels the same way, I feel like honestly, that's what I'm just so excited about, is that we're here and I want to see how it goes down. Obviously, we left off last episode in this note that doesn't lend well to super happy romantic times.
Yeah.
So... But
it needs to be acknowledged and dealt with before super romantic times can happen.
Yes, I totally agree.
And maybe even ultra romantic times. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Wow. Do you think Miyuki knows a little bit? It's hard because, like, I don't think
they
either
both know to some extent. Whether they want to bring that to the forefront of their minds of awareness is up to them.
I think that both of them know that they care about each other. Mm-hmm. Regardless of it being a romance or romantic. It's like if Chika or Ishigami said, or Miko Ino said that they were leaving. There'd still be sadness there to be dealt with, even though that you're happy for a person. You're gonna miss them.
I strongly believe, though, that both of them know that if they confessed, the other person would return those feelings. I don't believe either of them are scared of a rejection at all. I think they're both scared of being the one that the prideful one, and not, you know what I mean.
I'm nervous.
Would it keep her from confessing to know this?
More well-bred.
I was like, Hayasaka, what are you trying to do there?
Kaguya-sama 的には遅くとも2年生の間には付き合い始めて3年は恋人として今までできなかったあんなことやこんなことを思う存分そういうビジョンがあるものだと今日から会長がいなくなるまでの間かぐや様のしたかったこと全部すればいいんですそのための条件がたった一つありますなあもう何が言いたいか想像がつくわよ今日会長に好きだっていう告白すればいいんでしょ長かった早坂何泣いてるの
Ultra romantic! Okay, let's hear
Top
it.
secret perfect plan.
They're in the cell
Why
phone
are they
store again?
why are they at the cell phone store? Definitely. She's being very realistic with this. I like it. Yeah, that's like so season 1.
Doesn't feel right.
1H. She needs a plan that she can't lead to her own self-destruction or a misunderstanding, like all
Romantic
else.
comedy, please try
I
to.
know. I was entertained.
Confess, you know, an actual confession. Aww.
本当は見ていてくれてるとこに進もうとする会長が好きなのよ。行かないでなんて絶対言えないでしょ。ごめんなさい、かぐや様。私の神経でした。絶対成功させましょう。
Oh, hi, Sokka.
This is such a delicate situation.
The brisk walking.
検討外れだったみたい。ヒヤに会長がいないんじゃ告白不可能じゃない。あっちはうまくいってるみたいね。全く恨めしいわ。結構風強いね。中の方がそうかと思って使ってください。驚きの気配り力。
Yeah, it is. And it looks amazing
So
on her.
good. Flowers, language of flowers.
そんなことないよ。あの石神ってやつだけには気をつけてください。暴力で停学してて、みんな嫌ってるストーカー野郎なんです。
Miko. Is Miko there?
そうなんだ。私たちあいつと一緒になんて間に入るから。それに話してみたら意外配りさ。何の話です？いろいろ知りたいって話。迎えてですね。だから卒業式の知らない桜でして。桜は散る姿が綺麗といえばそれまでですが、桜ってのも縁起がいいっていうか、受けられる感じしません？
Aww.
今までそんなこと考えた見に来ようよ。はい。突然呼び出したのは察してなかったなって。答えを決めかねてる。時間が欲しいの。いつまでもチューブラリなのなんかキープしてるのいきそうで怖いし。見に決めて欲しいの。返事？
He doesn't know! He doesn't know.
告白した花見の話か。今の石神は少しずれていた。
Oh.
結構待てるね。今まだ12月。早く予定決めてもよくないですか。気候でいますし。気候で。そわそわしながら時間って欲しいって思うのに。じっくり君のこと知ってみる。
Is this where he's gonna realize that she thinks he confessed? He's putting it together. He's doing it. It's a lot of work. Heart shapes? Yeah, there were a lot, weren't there? Oh, did you see one was a... Did you see it?
Oh.
The president. No. Oh, I got excited.
We heard a step though,
I
right?
heard the steps. It was the person walking up to give her the fire. He wouldn't miss this? Where is he?
I feel like he has the best seat, and I don't even know where it is.
The wind. What is it? It is. It has to be. I think you're right. It's Miyuki because he's not around. Tuxedo mask.
Tuxedo mask.
Tuxedo mask.
It's on Shinomiya. Oh.
Oh my god.
Language. Everything's going to plan, Kaguya.
Someone's.
I'm willing it to happen, Kaguya.
Come on, tuxedo mask. Love it. Yes. Yes.
The music. Mm-hmm. I was just too stupid. If I was smarter, if I was Chica, I could have figured that out.
Is one of them Stanford or something?
That's a good line.
Look at this, there's a smile. Do you see the slight smile? This was meant for her. This was a message for her. So that she'd be the only one that understood it.
Me too!
The name of the talk the president was gonna give.
This is like Michael and Holly in The Office, but like 1,000 times better.
Oh, the music. What? It's not working. Oh no, things aren't going to plan.
Like, oh no.
Oh, she switched. It was in her car. Oh my god, it was.
This is like Looney Tunes.
I
Or
was
just
gonna say-
old school Disney.
It was like Popeye.
Yeah.
You mean the read she did me as
Oh no!
Oh, he's so cute. Oh.
I'm so happy. Remember the first intro with how many weapons we saw? Fuck it.
Okay, episode 13. Here we go. Kaguya.
I am very, very, very thankful that they're bringing this back. Can never... yeah.
なんでだと
考えているのかわからない。今日はとても怖く思える。これから告白しようという。
俺にとってこれは最後の文化祭。最後くらい少し羽目を外したかった。篠宮に見せたいものがあったんだ。今時なかなか見れるものじゃないだろう。誰しもが憧れるシチュエーションだと思わないか。
Nice. Oh, and Ishigami did a similar thing last episode.
何か景品でも用意しとけばよかった。貸してもらいたいこととか欲しいものはあるか？
ある。私はあなたにずっと告白してもらいたいだけのものと考えていた私にとって感を塗り替えるものだったのか。そして
They're drawn differently.
私は自分が嫌いになる。当たり前のように使えるか使えないで見てる自分がどれだけ冷たかな女なのか思い知らされるようで人に好かれるものなのか。いつも不安に私にも優しくしてくれるんじゃないか。舞い上がってるだけなんじゃないか。
篠宮、どうかしたのか？違うからな。俺はお前をまあ、なんとか言ってくれよ。
付き合ってほしい。愛してる。そのコスプレ一体なんて言い出さなければ。
What a shot.
なんてしなくて済んだのに。だから私は僕らが告白してくれば成功率 100% なの。
なあ篠宮、いいものを見せ後で出したかったんだけど仕方ない。見せたいものがあるって言っただろう。どうしても折り合いがつかないから言葉にできないから好きなものをプレゼントしよう
Most
と思ったんだ。
amazing. Give you the most amazing gift you could think of. Fireworks. What?
Stole
All the
balloons.
balloons! It was heated by the flames and... Oh my god. Oh, stop!
That's
This is
gorgeous.
the most romantic thing ever.
Look at the reflections too.
俺の気持ちだ。
What a shot!
ロマンティックさ提出した日からその計画は動き始めていた。
見るよ。見るからね。
この文化祭の夜につけることを、そのために何をすれば言えばいいのか。
Oh, good editing.
は日常コスプレ。
なんか着るのもお祭りっぽい雰囲気があったりだいぶありだな。
Yeah.
ファッションセンスは中2で止まった。
うちのクラスはこれで行くんだったか。
この時、風景が浮かんだ。
I love how we came up with this plan just by daily inspiration.
藤原を封じなければ話が始まらない。
対する挑戦以外何者でもありません。
確かいいのは選挙の時。
3年前までは恒例行事でしたが。
ゴールデンタイムが発生する。
そのために文治性いいのと一緒に。
Oh,
It was him! It wasn't me! We thought it was Miko!
先輩の劇も遅い時間にすれば篠宮ほどの才覚はなく器用さもなく家柄など到底比べも。
oh,
出会って間もない頃から興味なかっただろう。
look at her hair. It's down again. And her expression.
人生で一もしかしたら俺はお前と対等になれるのかもしれない。希望で胸が躍った。だからこそ願うように告白し与えられた手を引けばやっと対等になれない。お前から告白されて求められて初めて対等だと思う。
God, I love the shots.
篠宮に告白できない。だけど伝えたいことがある。
What? Oh, stop! Oh, stop!
キャンプファイヤーの位置とか全部計算してたんじゃない？
Hayasaka, you need to keep everyone from going up there! Hayasaka, this is your mission! She's like realizing how romantic
Oh
it is.
no, they're.
厳重なハートの風船を集めて線の中に入れたいんだけど立ってくれない？
はあ？嫌だよ。
そうかよ、恩知らずめ。推薦文を2枚書いてもらう権利がありましたよね。その権利を副会長に譲ることはできますか？ありませんよ。じゃあ
She said that she would. She said she would love that opportunity for herself.
何を？
何か準備してる気はしてたしいことだとは思いもしなかっ
Oh, it's like the how cute.
言うけどな。
た。感 んなことして一体何が狙いなんです。私は
もちろん意味はある。俺の願いを聞いてもらう下準備だ。お前と付き合うより切実で重大な
Something more
Come
pressing.
with me.
一生に一度のお願いだ。
Is it to come with
She
her?
asked him to be president.
スタンフォードを受けろ、篠宮。俺と一緒にアメリカに来い。
To be with you forever!
めちゃくちゃなことをおっしゃいますね。そんなことそうじゃないですか。大体今から申し
来い。
じゃあはいわかりました。スタンフォードに行きます。
怖いけどな。
あっさりだなんてそんなそうしましたよ。
それも怖い。
Did you see how her eyes were drawn there?
人
Her
生が
pupils?
動いてしまった気がします。SAT のスカートが必要でしたっけ。外堀を埋めるコース
She's like,
やることがたくさんありそう。
The music's so good.
藤原
これ篠宮から告ってこない。
It doesn't matter! I love it! It's so good!
捕まえたケツそれって何でもいいんですか。
俺が
The pacing's so good.
言いましたね。みんなもうすぐだよ。一緒に踊ろう。いい。彼氏と一緒に踊りな。好きな人とやるものでしょ。
best friend over the boyfriend.
あげたかったの。ミコちゃん今も一人で見回りしてるんです。盛り上がってるな。
いや、やってんな。
しがみ。
渡したいものがあって。落とし物は風紀委員にだろ。
ああ。別に。
あとこれ取っといたから。
He was recording it for her. He was recording it for her.
お前は見ておくべきだと思って。
Ishigami, all the girls are gonna fall in love with you in one festival. What are you doing?
こんなとこで。
嬉しいね。
会は終わりを迎える中、
導き出された数字に指を使いどこ適当に言ってます。絶対無理やりでしょ。今ありませんわ。問題はタイミングと これは見張り台？戦時の名残ですかね。どういう風景が感じて
森だが、付き合ってくれと言葉にしたわけではない。だからの俺たちの関係は留学の件だ。以後のキスが強烈すぎて考えが何一つ。
いっぱいわーすごく綺麗だったの。
いろいろ聞きたいことはあるのですが、実際どうでした？
なんかすごかった。そして戻りました。
The student has become the master.
簡単なのですがってないんです。一体何をしたんですか。あらあら、早さと
Oh,
キスは
oh goodness.
It's all like hand puppets.
War criminal. That's how she learned this.
本日の分
Come on, are they there or not?
やれやれ、仕方ない。
あるの。
Holding hands, please. Yes. Oh.
Oh!
Oh. Ah.
That's it. Okay, that was Kaguya-sama Love is War, Season 3, Episode 12 and 13. That's weird for us, eh?
It is weird for us.
We heard last second that people thought that these last 2 episodes should be watched together. I don't know if that's how they aired. I know sometimes they do that with certain anime episodes. But regardless, I wanted to finish this series up strong because this series is meant a lot. And I'm so glad that we've been able to watch it together.
It's been so fun. And honestly, even before I heard that some people might have suggested watching the episodes together, I wanted to. Because after how we left off with episode 11, I was like, oh, come on. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the finale had been like an hour-long kind of movie type situation in feeling.
Yeah.
And how could you watch them? I mean, we obviously record and we don't always sit down and watch, the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, how could we go maybe a few days from episode 12 to 13 if it's like this ramping up to a confession? I just couldn't see that.
It wouldn't have felt right.
It wouldn't have felt right.
It would have felt like it wasn't genuine.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I'm really glad that we ended up watching it. It
was validated once we saw what the ending for episode 12 was. I felt totally valid in the decision to watch the next episode right after.
I have a question for you for right now, and then in a little bit I want you to answer that same question again at the end of the discussion.
Okay.
Do you think this is the end of Kaguya-sama Love is War?
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to talk more about that? Or do you think that just yes is warranted for now? Just
I just am gonna say that I feel like this was a good, as a romantic comedy.
You're the romance expert here.
I mean,
on
like
AutoSave.
some manga, some romances especially end in marriage. They go all the way up until the couple gets married, and then there's a manga cover of a wedding dress, and all of that situation. But this is a romantic comedy. It's like in a different kind of area than some of the shows and manga that I'm thinking of. And I think it's more like, I don't know if I could see them taking this like Kaguya-sama in the US. Like, I don't know if I could see it actually continuing to that point.
Yeah.
This felt like a very nice, very true to form stopping place. If you think about how the show started, it started upon this whole battle for a confession. And we ended kind of on this note that was like, oh, they like each other and they know it and they've kissed. But there still really wasn't like a, please go out with me. I love you. I want to be with you.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it felt true to form that would be how it ended. Because it felt satisfying. The audience feels good and satisfied with the ending, but it's still so true to the characters.
It is. I think that you hit the nail on the head with that, because it was extremely true to the characters. And I, at the moment, agree with you. I could see them doing a spin-off, OVA, movie, fun stuff together in the future, but I don't think they should try to critically touch where they left off, because I don't know if they could do so in a way that would feel like it was adding substance to the story going forward. I think that this was such a massive moment for me as a member of the audience, like as a viewer, that I don't know what it would take for me to ever feel something this high again in Kaguya-sama Love is War, Right,
like this was the accumulation of everything they've worked through for seasons now. So it's like anything after that, well, what would be the next goal in terms of, this is a show that's goal and theme is a game of love. And after they are now a couple, basically, they shouldn't be playing any more games with each other except for fun, in a very lighthearted, wholesome way. That is they'd probably play games together, in all honesty, but not in the same, like, pride getting in the way aspect.
The only thing I can think of, if they were to try to add to this story critically, narratively, right, and not just do a fun side story or a fun just story with everybody with no serious implications, is if we got a massive time skip in the form of an OVA or movie, and the confession we finally get to hear was them saying their vows to each other. I think that would be the
cute.
only way
so
I could
cute,
justify it.
Yeah.
Because then that's them confessing, right?
Another aspect is that the side characters in the show are very, very integral, and none of them are going to the US.
Yeah.
So to continue the story more than just an OVA, but you're losing Ishigami, the ones that add the chaos and add more of the doesn't go to plan aspect to the story. I mean, Miyuki had to make sure to keep Ishigami and Chika and Miko completely occupied during this time.
I don't know if I'd want to know if they went to the States. I don't know
that doesn't feel important, I guess.
It doesn't. If it's so interesting to me, because if you asked me before these 2 episodes if I'd want to know, it'd be like, oh, of course, But sitting here,
would have been like when we thought, is Miyuki going to sacrifice this chance of a lifetime to go to the US and study abroad for the relationship to work, or is he gonna go? There was still that question mark, and now with this addition that Kaguya can go too,
perhaps,
that came,
maybe.
Obviously perhaps, but that came out of left field to me. I didn't even once think to myself, oh, maybe, why wouldn't Kaguya?
Dude,
I mean, she's brilliant. She's come to Miyuki this whole time.
I am so glad that the 2 of us both didn't think of that. Because
then when he said it came as
maybe one of us said it
and
we forgot it, but I don't think we did. And we do a lot of stupid, crazy theories on this channel, but I'm so glad that it didn't occur to me once. What's something that I definitely voiced at one point saying it was awesome that Kaguya asked Miyuki to be president one last time. I wish there was something Miyuki could do in return, but I don't know if a confession is that. But I'm, thankfully, too stupid to have thought of the best possible solution, and it meant the world when I got to see it play out, and it happened real time. It felt so right, and it fit so well.
To me, if you think about, we talk often about, okay, how do you end your story? How do you end? That's the most
hardest thing
part.
to do.
And for romance, I feel like obviously most romance movies, shows, anime are all leading toward 2 people ending up together, and how they get to that point, and what is that actual point of impact where the feelings are realized and recognized. And honestly, I obviously, like anyone, would prefer it when it feels true to how the characters would actually handle this kind of change in their life. I have seen romance anime end upon just them holding hands, and that is the last episode, the last moment, the last 5 seconds of the show is them walking away holding hands. And it, in some anime, in some romance, I'm like, I want them to kiss. But, it depends on the characters, their dynamic. In that instance I'm talking about where they just hold hands in the last 5 seconds, they are both shy, introverted, homebody type people, and they are very nervous together. And so for them to even reach out and touch each other in any capacity was so romantic for them.
Yeah.
And so that's why I love when the actual climax of confession and romance fits the personalities and dynamics of the characters.
I'm trying to look through my anime list right now. I'd say that this might be the 3rd romance anime I've ever watched, and I know that, so I'm thinking Horimiya, Bloom Into You, and I'm talking series, television series.
You watched
or manga.
MMO Junkie with me.
Oh, that's right, I did.
That's the one I was referencing.
Okay, but so 4th, So I am not at all educated or versed in all things romance. And I would like to say, prefacing with that, this has felt much more comedic and lighthearted slice of lifey compared to the other romantic anime I've watched. But it consistently, this show made me happy, made me feel love, made me laugh, and then make me like think about some really serious things and cry throughout episode 1, season 1 to season 3, episode 13. And I don't know if this is just because every romance that's been recommended to me is a fucking banger and like top charts, like I'm obsessed, or if I'm like discovering something within myself that I'm like such a fan of anything romance, because it sticks with me, man. It really does. I think that like that's so broad, right? You can't just say like everything in one genre you like, because if I think about my favorite moments of the show, you can't dumb it down to something like, oh, it's because it was romantic. If I had to say my favorite things about the show, it's the consistency in writing, the editing, honestly, the characters, but the visual writing, the writing that has made it into the television show that it is. I would love to read the manga, don't get me wrong, but
storyboarding,
the storyboarding, the shot choice, how long they hold on to shots, how they move them, where they're shot from,
choice of color.
One of my takeaways of this entire series that I've never heard any other anime or show or movie do is seemingly try to mimic popular songs intentionally so that they're able to elicit certain feelings out of their viewers. This show will stick with me for the rest of my life, and I don't think the things that this show did its best will ever be able to have another show come close to those things in its own regard. This show is great. I like it. Pretty good show.
And now is where you've just dipped your toes in the romance genre.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna go head first. More romance.
I hope.
I mean, if I get my way.
Yeah.
On this channel, romance.
I did want to talk about a couple things like in the 2 episodes that we just watched that I appreciated. The 5 W's and 1 H, I loved that little bit, but more importantly, the thing that came afterwards when Kaguya was saying to Hayasaka the things that she loved about Miyuki. Every one of them were great, but my personal favorite was how every time that they're all walking in a group and somebody strays off the path, Kaguya is looking at Miyuki, who's looking after that person who strayed off that path. And just the acknowledgement of Kaguya thinking how great of a person Miyuki is, and that breeds some insecurity of, am I just another person that he's nice to? I think that her acknowledging that she looks at herself as like as a person who's cynical, as who only looks at other people at how they can be taken advantage of and how they can be useful to her. Her self-actualization and a borderline deprecation, but I think it's more realizing who she is as a person or who she was as a person.
And awareness.
It culminates in such a beautiful moment when it comes to Miyuki's feelings, because both of them feel very similar in very different ways.
Not good enough for the other person's affection.
Yeah, not good enough for the other person's affection, and both of them wanting to quote unquote become your equal. Mm-hmm. And if
that's why it gets down to, we thought it was just pride that was the reason neither of them wanted to be the one to confess.
Yeah.
But truly, by season 3, you get down to the actual heart of the matter is that
they didn't feel like they deserved it.
They feel like the other person needs to be the one because the other person is higher up in some regard. And that they need to reach their hand out.
So good. It's so good. I loved that. I loved in episode 12, there was I think the pacing was really, really well done. Especially when we see Kaguya up on the rooftop in episode 12, and she's saying that she feels like she guessed wrong. Great shot of her grabbing the railings on the side of the building, and then her eyes look down and she sees Ishigami and Tsubame. And the reason why I love it is she says, truly I resent them for that. It finishes up her character's moment there and flawlessly transitions to the Tsubame Ishigami moment. It's great. It was amazing. I loved it. Loved it.
We got some foreshadowing of lending a cloak of sorts.
Yeah.
Very nice. Honestly, since we're on episode 12, I gotta say that how they wrapped up the Ishigami kind of, we didn't need a, yes, I'm gonna go out with you. We didn't need any of that. What we needed was for Ishigami to realize what had happened.
Yeah.
And obviously, Tsubame had, you know, a great response that I am very thankful for and very happy for. But I think what made everything more the better is Ishigami watching her perform, realizing, like, looking at her, like, how beautiful she is and how talented she is, and also realizing and being embarrassed by, you know, what he realizes he accidentally did. And he was still, up until that point, planning on confessing or doing something later on that evening. And then for him to be such a mature and lovely gentleman where he realizes, I don't want to take her time from the people that care about her right this second.
Yeah.
And so he gives her space. He gives her space. Space, you know? And that is an attractive thing.
Yeah.
To be there as a support and watch her in her show, say something to her nicely, and then just drift to the background, you know, be like, this is about you. These are other people that care about you. I am not going to try to take your attention away from the other people that you want to see tonight, and I will see you later.
And
you know,
the explanation for this being Ishigami is slightly off base today has got to be like one of the best bits. Like, I love it. Like,
and he's like this, you know, as
Yeah.
you're watching her. It's so cute.
I am going to use the line, Ben is slightly off base today going forward,
Just
if
going
I am.
forward.
I thought that, you know what? I am once again going to say that I'm very thankful that we watched the 2 episodes together. I really enjoyed going back to back. What? You look like you're pondering something.
When did Miyuki make the schedule? Because
while
he's
ago.
saying, I know, a while ago. But when did he realize that Ishigami had feelings for Tsubame? Because I thought Kaguya is always the one that's around. And I don't think until the school festival, Miyuki was talking about, oh no, I hope this doesn't, Ishigami's confession doesn't, like, ruin things. So when did Miyuki exactly realize how Ishigami felt? I mean, he's very observant.
Look, we don't know what Ishigami and Miyuki talk about in their
That's true,
alone
it's
time.
secret. It's a secret time.
Their trips to the
Their
aquarium.
trips.
Only the fish know those secrets. But on to episode 13. Starting out with the reiterating of, like, the intro, the original intro of how the premise of the show, right? Love is War. I thought was brilliant. It kind of hits home to the whole, like, playing the intro and the final moments of the last episode, but to a even harsher degree. And I thought that it was brilliant. And if they didn't do it, I probably would have wished they had. So I appreciate that.
We have seen similar things in some other shows we've seen recently, and it was much enjoyed and much appreciated then as well.
Yeah.
Gotta love when they bring back, you know, the first season opening song, you know. You are on a frame right now that's really creeping me out. It's the principal of the school, and he doesn't have pupils. Either his eyes are closed.
Yeah, they were closed.
Or he doesn't have pupils, and it was really in his painting on the wall, and it's giving me the creeps. Giving me the creeps.
What do you think of the principal and Momo?
Is Momo the name?
Yeah.
I completely, like,
Yeah.
don't have it, like, memorized.
Like, self-loathing the more I look at you. I don't know
I
if that was the line
definitely
for her,
like
but-
that it's a character that we don't know, and that
Yeah.
obviously Miyuki as the president has, you know, knows everybody, and with being on the roof and working on this thing on the roof, obviously would get to know someone that was in, I believe, the astronomy club.
Yeah.
And I like that Miyuki did have people, you know, you would think that maybe someone would ask their closest friends or the closest allies to help them with this plan. But in Miyuki's world, and who are his closest allies, are all people who would also possibly ruin things
Yeah.
in their own way. And to bring outside forces into it was very smart on his end.
Yeah.
To ask other people and hire other people basically for help.
I love that the idea of war comes full circle with there being a lookout tower that was left from some time during the war, which leads to seeing the battle between Kaguya and Miyuki. I think that how they handled showing us the kiss was really, really, really well done.
I gotta say, when Miyuki first brought out that, grabbed that blue balloon, I was like, how freaking perfect. I mean, how many times has Kaguya looked into his eyes, loved how they looked, loved the color. Like, the color really is a signifier for him, and it always shines so brilliantly. Especially, I mean, like, the eye shots for Kaguya and Miyuki in this whole show are always, like, some of the most telling emotionally and most interesting.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't. When he grabbed it and it was the blue, I was like, you have to be kidding me. He planned even that? How did he know that one was gonna fly to a point where he could reach it?
Part of me wishes it was his dad on the floor below, or wiring it up, or or there was some other reason that somehow he had static electricity and a glove on behind his hand to get it. I don't know. I wish there was some silly thing there, but it was so cute and so perfect. I felt like the character art and animation and everything this episode was beyond good. It was so good, Crazy high def.
And at first I was, wow, okay, Kaguya's still in this interesting draw, the way she was drawn at the end there, and the way she was talking. But then I started thinking about it in a different way, and I was like, oh, well, this just really reflects her state of mind at the moment. And that's what we're seeing, is that she feels so mature now and so above, and it's just adorable. It's so adorable.
I think the voice acting was so good. Obviously, I think that I would love to know, more than any other show we've watched on this channel, if I would enjoy this piece of work as much if I had only watched or read the manga, because so much of the show that I love is due to the editing, music, and mainly voice acting between Miyuki and Kaguya. And Kaguya here at the end, the way her voice went very high-pitched reminded me of the past Kaguya, the little kid Kaguya on the trial, And it just came full circle, and I loved it. It was great. It was great. I'm not gonna, it's what they told me. I don't know. I love this show, and part of me doesn't want the world that we're in to be over, but I don't know what I'd do with it going forward, other than a fun beach trip, or a fun whatever trip.
So many things came full circle that I'm just so happy and satisfied with it. That we had the figure out what Kaguya's thinking to figure out where she is game, and then we had that at the end here where it was figure out Miyuki and do you really know him? Do you know where he'd be right now? I
was a little wrong. In season 2 episode 6, I made a prediction that Hayasaka was actually the god of this world, or narrator or the director.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Whatever. That's fine.
And it turns out Hayasaka is just an innocent high school girl as well.
That there's just so many subtle callbacks,
then bringing back at the very end there, what's the game? The Chica's board game.
It's the game of life.
The home game life game.
And she took Ishigami's criticism and critique and made it a better game, apparently.
Bringing back that time that we all learned in the most, probably one of the funniest moments of the show was when the entire room realized that Kaguya was completely innocent.
Yeah.
And then to bring that back with this conversation with Hayasaka, it's so many things. Oh, what do you think about that ending with Kashiwagi and Maki?
I think that's a good question. I left off with feeling like Maki was happy that there was an acknowledgement of her feelings, but I think I would not have been upset if they expanded upon it a little further. for my own clarity.
I mean, Maki's feelings are so complex. I mean,
Exactly.
Kashiwagi was her best friend first,
Mm-hmm.
and she had this crush. And then, so she's not only feels like she's lost her best friend, but she's also lost the ability to date her crush. But Kashiwagi was her best friend first. And she can't have her crush, but she can still have Kashiwagi as a best friend. And here she's getting just like shown and validation that one of the people that you love really loves you and thinks of you at the top of the world, that you are the person they love the most out of anybody. And that is a very, very nice feeling for Maki for that character, for us to end our journey with her. That is a great ending for her, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Because it wasn't going to end in Kashiwagi breaking up with her boyfriend and the boyfriend being like, hey, Maki, you're pretty cute. That was not going to be a good ending.
I have a question that's a little off base, and I could be wrong.
Oh, so, like Ishigami, you're a little off base today?
Yeah.
Already? You're already starting that?
Apologies if I'm just misremembering. I think that there is still the mystery of Miko Ino and her, like, the love letter. And I think, like, I'm just going headcanon here, like, okay, obvious connection with the flowers and Ishigami now, more than ever, with his conversation.
I mean, the language of flowers, he's brought up, like, 4 times.
And how he ended up interacting with Miko at the end. If I try to fill in the blanks in my head, it is that this was once a feeling Ishigami had, and his feelings have turned into something that wasn't romantic towards Miko Ino, but a true caring friendship and almost like a sibling relationship.
We were always told that they both always kind of had an eye on each other. I mean, we know that they both were always like secretly, even if they were pretending they didn't like each other, we're looking out for each other.
Yeah. I think that my like brain goes to Ishigami, but I think that if it is Ishigami, then they shouldn't have put attention to it. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, I mean, especially with him in the ending with Tsubame, if they were going to play up, you know, that Ishigami was the person that basically Miko probably believes she's in love with, you know, I think that if they had actually made the audience more aware of that, especially in the ending here, it would have felt really kind of heartbreaking to have Ishigami and Tsubame have a good ending like that.
I think so.
It would have, I don't know, I think I would have been like, oh, so we're supposed to be happy for everyone except Miko?
Yeah. I think that it's just, I don't know. I kind of like where we left off with Miko. I think that her character is a really interesting one that doesn't need to be expanded on, but they could if they wanted to, like going forward. They could have a whole series with Miko, if they wanted
what
to.
Miko got out of this is not only did Miko realize someone really cares for her, enough to give her the heart charm, but also show her, record this for her, thinking about her like that, but also an overprotective friend has realized that they maybe should take a step back and let Miko kind of, you know, grow.
Yeah.
So Miko is just, you know, she's diving headfirst into hopefully maybe being president one day of the school. So
Ishigami just wants people to be happy, man. He
has so much care.
He's my favorite character still. He has always been, but I love him to death. And I think that a lot of the reason that I love him is because of his how much he puts others first ahead of himself, and it's consistent. I think that hands down the best part of the show is the character writing, like we've said, but I can't think of a single character I dislike in the show.
Right. Another plus to why Tsubame is actually a great character for Ishigami to possibly end up with is that when people were gossiping about Ishigami to her, she had such a great, you know, response and feeling about this. She's not the type to gossip. She's also not the type to judge someone based on what someone else tells her about them.
I think Tsubame and Ishigami are a lot more similar than either of them realize.
Yeah.
And I think it's great because regardless of if they end up together, I think that the writing's so strong that we could write it ourselves in our head how the more they get to know each other, the more until March, the time they spend together getting to know each other, the more that they're going to realize that they should have some sort of relationship, whether it's romantic or not, and that they are really good to be in each other's lives.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't even get a lot of Tsubame, but I can already tell that. Like,
what they gave us of Tsubame
Exactly.
was all just very telling of her actual character and her heart, and that was really nice. That if you're gonna give only a little bit of a character, that, and if you're going to match and love match a character that is going to be barely seen with a character that is going to be beloved by the audience, you gotta come in strong with them in a way that we're not like, oh, Tsubame's whatever, you know, Ishigami could have done better. Maybe I'd rather Ishigami end up with someone we know better from the story,
yeah.
or have like a romantic connection with someone we know better, like Miko or something like that. But I'm like, they really came in hard with like making me realize quickly that Tsubame was a great character.
Yeah, they did.
So I'm very happy about that. We're just happy.
I want to know another reason I'm happy. This show like has flexed enough to show me they can make me really, really emotional in a very sad way, mostly in regards to Kaguya's family life.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the direction the story needed to go in.
It wasn't the focus, and it was nice that it wasn't the focus.
This
wasn't a drama. This was a romantic comedy.
It was part of a reason that made Kaguya who she was when this series started, or a year before the series started. And I think that it was very important and necessary for us to know what kind of home life she has to better understand the character in front of us. Mm-hmm. Just because you write a flawed character, not Kaguya, but her father, doesn't mean a flawed character needs a resolution. A flawed character can be written to show what they have done to affect another character's development.
Right. They set the stage with what Kaguya's dealing with and what her obstacles are, and by the end, we hear her be like, well, my father's not going to like it, but I have a lot to do now. I have a lot to figure out. And so it's her choosing, not only in this episode is she choosing to be this better person that she wants to be, and to be with Miyuki and be what she believes is being his equal, which is, you know, not looking at everyone as like pawns of benefit. She's also like, my life's important, and, you know, I'm going to make this work, and I want to be with him forever.
Yep.
So
great.
The best we could have hoped for. Honestly, this is probably one of the most romantic kind of confessions I've ever. The balloons,
yeah,
you know, on the tower, tuxedo mask costume.
Oh my God,
you know, like, where was the rose? I don't know. There were heart balloons. It's okay.
You know, whether it's any of the series, the few series that we have completely finished on this channel, or in my own experience, series that I have watched, other reaction channels watch well before we started AutoSave. When you finish a series, at least in my experience with, you know, reactors, it feels nice. It feels like we just watched the last episode together.
Yeah.
But in my mind, we've said this about previous shows, and because of our terrible scheduling and then awful things that come up in our own lives, we end up not having too much time. But trust us, we're working on it. The whole point of me saying that is that I don't want this to be the last time we ever talk about Kaguya-sama Love is War. Whether it's an idea I can't think of now, a discussion of us collectively sharing some of our favorite moments, or talking about writing more in depth, or just whatever.
Maybe we try out the manga.
I would love for there to be a reason to come back to the series, to appreciate it as a whole in one video, and not just appreciate the last hour of content that we've watched, because I think this show, more than a lot of other shows, deserve it, because there was a lot of love put into it, and a lot of attention put into the TV series, you know, and I want to know if that translates to the manga, or has translated so well from the manga to this, but I just want to talk about the show more than now, you know. I don't know, I don't really know how to end this because I'm scared.
Well, can I say one last thing?
Yeah, of course.
I wanted to say that obviously someone who's seen a lot more of the romantic leaning type shows, So Hayasaka, when Kaguya was trying to figure out what to say, and Hayasaka was really harshly grading every option that Kaguya came up with, one of her reasons that something wasn't good enough was it wasn't entertaining enough. And I have to say, this is one of the most entertaining, maybe not the most like deeply dramatic, I'm gonna cry during this confessions or that I've seen or showing of love, but this was one of the most entertaining confessions and showing of love that I have seen. Like, this was a party from like start to finish. This was so much fun. So much fun. So much fun.
A lot of great camera work with the balloons on top of the roof. The reflections were absolutely phenomenal. I love a good reflection.
This
in
felt
anime.
like we should have watched this on New Year's. That's how I feel right now. Like
That's
we have
a really
like poppers and
interesting way to
champagne.
put it, yeah.
Like I feel like I should have been watching this on New Year's Eve.
I think I could have watched it on New Year's or in theaters, weirdly enough. I feel like I could watch this whole thing as like an hour-long special.
So entertaining, exciting, fun, happy.
Yeah. Okay. To end it off, just like the beginning of the discussion, is this the end of Kaguya-sama Love is War?
Yes.
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 Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And we hope to see you next time.